Hey, welcome to Mike's Trains and part 5 of this series of building this train station. The last video, if you watched it, I went on the computer and we actually designed all of the showed you how I designed all the interior parts for this building. So let's look at what I did and what I got ready for this. So let's move this out of the way. And after the last video, this is what I came up with. What I have is I have a floor panel here. This is the floor for the main section of the building. And all I did was I picked a pattern in there and I just made it full size. And I glued it to a piece of cardstock. It's just a back piece of some cardboard. And then I took gloss clear and I just sprayed over it because I want the floor to shine in the center section. When the lights come down, I want there to be a glow to it. And then I went and I cut 2 more, one for each side, more floors. So these will be the floors for the 2 end sections of the train station. So that gives us our whole first floor in there. Now for the second floor, I used foam core board, and what I ended up doing was kind of the same idea as what I did with the bottom floors. Is I cut the foam core and I glued those. I printed sheets. Okay, so I'm dividing these a little differently than I had originally talked about in the last video. The way I talked about in the last video was when you're looking at this, I was going to divide it across this way and then one down the center this way, like this. But in looking at it and figuring out how this is all going to work, I'm doing this a little differently. So what I did was I took the foam core and I cut a bevel on the edges of the foam core, on 3 edges, 1, 2, 3, and they're all cut at a bevel. And then the end here, this is the end that faces this side here, is cut at a straight 90 degree. And I cut these bevels because this slot that's in here, the bevels slide right in there like this. And when I slide those down, it all fits right in nicely, and it goes under the windows and everything fits nice and tight. And then when this goes in, gets glued in, it'll be like this. So now when we divide this, there'll be a wall coming this way and a wall on top of here. So this leaves a floor, this will be a hallway, and this is a back room to the station. I'm only dividing it into 3 because I could get really fancy with it and add tons of rooms in there and all. And I'm not going to divide this bottom into any other rooms. It's going to stay as one big room. So I'm going to leave that like that. And all we'll have in there would be this floor fits into this space right here. And I have it notched so that it fits and it meets up with the floor in the center part. This overhangs this piece here on the center section so that the seams meet and it's all good. So this will end up like that. And then I have wall sections that I've done. And what we have with these is this. This is a hallway wall. This side faces the inside here. And then I have the room side right here. And I designed all of this with that software that I showed you in the last video. So the way these are going to go is this will glue in right here like this, right on top of the seam for the floor. This one will go in here like this. And then I have another one right here. This is another room side. And then this is a hallway side. And there's a door with an exit sign above it. And that one will fit. Actually, this isn't the one. I have a left and a right. So we're going to use this one over here. And all I did was I made sure when I printed these and I cut them out that this door lines up with the door on the other side. So this one will go right here, right on top of that. Okay. And then at the end of this hallway here, I printed out, and I made in that same software, it's an elevator doors. And that will face down the hallway right here. And this will glue in just like this. And in doing it in this way, it divides it still into 3. All the rooms are large enough, but when you look down the hallways and into the rooms, it actually looks like something. So let's see if I can get you in here. Okay, so that's what you get when you're looking down the hallway section. And if I tip this, let's see if I can tip this to the side a little bit. You can still see the doors. There's a door section right there, just kind of showing through right there. And all that detail, and it looks fine, and we're going to light it from above. And then if I turn it completely around, you know, you have the full view through this doorway, and I have a finished floor in there and all. So I think that'll work out just fine. Alright, so all these sections are made out of foam core board, and this is just something I picked up. Yeah, so I got these. They're 11 by 14 by 3/16 of an inch thick, and these work out fine. And all I did was I took these pieces, I took a piece of that, and I measured out for the size of the walls in here. And then I printed my pieces, and then all I used was some of this glue, Super 77. This is really good glue. That I bought from Home Depot. And all I did was spray onto the foam core itself. You let it sit for a couple minutes, and then you can take your paper and just set it, and you line it up with the bottom and just roll it down, press it on, and this will hold indefinitely. It works really well, and it works quickly. So that's how those got made. So now, oh, and here's the center section right here. Remember, I told you in the last video we were going to cut out the red doors, and this is what we end up with. I'm not actually, I talked about doing the functional stained glass, and I did both sides the same actually. I don't think it really matters. But the stained glass I'm not going to do, just because I don't want to take the time to do it, but it can be done. All you'd have to do is get a very sharp, another sharp X-Acto knife with a fresh blade. You would cut out this stained glass on each side, and then you want to paint that foam that's going to show like this. You paint that this color, like a concrete color, and then we can fit in the printed stained glass. It's very easy to do, but I just, you know, I got enough going on already, so I'm not going to take the time to do that. So the next part of this whole project is going to be to take this, and we want to install all the glass panels. Those all need to get put into here. We need to install all the panels, the glass panes in here and the center section. And this isn't actually going to be getting glued on to the main building until after this interior is all in. That'll be the last thing we do, because the lighting is the next thing to happen. After all this interior is installed, we have to do the lighting, and the lighting has to glue to the roof panels. and I need access to get inside of here to run the wiring around and bring it down and out the bottom. So I can't glue any of this just yet together, you know, make it as one giant building. So let me show you what I'm using to glue the window panels in, and then I'm going to shut the camera off. I'm going to glue all the window panes in, and then I'll show you how we go about putting the wall panels in. So the glue for the windows is canopy glue. This is what I'm using. It's good stuff. I use it on my N scale all the time. If I get any on the glass itself where it's going to show, it dries crystal clear. You don't see it. It doesn't fog the glass, and it dries relatively quick. So we're going to use this, and all I'm going to do, let me cut out one of these glass panels. So we have the glass panels here. Get one off of here. Oh, and also these roof panels that are on here, these clear roof panels, these go across the roof. I'll show you, I don't know about this video or the next video, but we're going to frost these so they allow light to pass, but you can't see through them, because I don't want anybody looking down into the train station from the outside, but I do want light to show. I want the light to pass in and out. So let's cut out well, let's pick the tall windows for this section here. Let's try this one right here. Let's glue one in, and then I'm going to do the rest of them off camera. So we have this glass right here. This glass should go right over this top big giant window here. So that'll fit like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of this canopy glue. I'm going to put it on a little piece of paper here, and I'm going to get a micro brush. And we're going to install this one window. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit on here, and I'm going to spread right around this outer frame. And I don't want to go too heavy. See, this is too heavy. I'm just going to keep spreading it until I go all the way around the outside frame, because we don't want any squeeze out to get in where it doesn't belong. You just want enough on there to cover the whole outside frame. Like that. And then we're going to take this window pane and we're just going to drop it right on top of that. Give it a little press, but not too much. Like that. And that's all it takes. And then we're going to go through the rest of the windows, and we're going to get all these placed in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this side. I'm going to let that dry for a little bit, and then I'll flip it on its other side. I'll do the next side and the next side, and I'll repeat the process all the way around. Let me do one more. Let's cut out, let's do these two here, and then that's where we'll cut it off for now. I'll finish off the rest of these off camera, because I mean there's a lot of windows here, and I don't know that anybody really needs to see me doing that. So let's take this. going to center it up and drop it right on top of the glue. Like that. A little tap down, make sure it's in. And that's it. And then when you look at it, now you have a nice window in there, there's no glue showing, and it looks perfect. Okay? So that's the process. Let me go ahead and finish these all up, and we'll come back when they're all on, and we'll start gluing in the interior. Alright, so now the windows are all dried into place. The glue is dried. I don't know if you can see it, but the glass is all in there. There's a couple windows the glue hasn't totally turned clear yet, but it's dry enough for our purposes. So what I want to do now is I want to put the floor into here. I'm just going to do this one end section on film, and I'll do the others off, and I'll show you in the next video how that turned out. But this is the way we're going to go. So this will fit in here like this, and let's see, did I mark these? This is the left side. Yeah. So I marked these. So this is for the left side. So this is going to fit right inside of here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a glue gun, and I'm going to glue this right in like this. I just want to make sure I'm fitting it in the right way. This will go down like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue these, glue this floor in here. So I have a hot glue gun. And we're just going to slip this down inside. Okay. So now we have this in here. And this is glued in, it's not going anywhere. Okay. And just keep in mind, this bottom floor I'm going to keep fully open, so when you see inside here it's just going to be an open floor space. This right here is the hallway doorway. So if you're looking on here, this is a stairwell and I have an exit sign right above it. So I need to make that match on the lower floor. So before I install this, actually we can glue this wall in. I'm going to glue this in. I'm just going to run a bead. Just like that. I'm not going to glue this in here yet. Okay, so now we need the other side wall on this side. These go on the other side. So this is the opposing hallway wall, which is going to go right here. Like that. So those will go like that. And then we're going to take this elevator section, we're going to just pass this down the back side like this. And I'm going to bring that even with the back end here. And the only reason I pushed this floor in ahead of time was because these upper walls passed beyond the floor because of the notch in here, so I want them to be tight to the outside wall. So now I'm going to do this. We're going to glue this one in. And then I'm just going to run a little touch of glue on the top here. I'm just going to pinch this together like that. So now you can see we have a full hallway in there and 2 side rooms. Okay? And that's how that'll go. Get these strings off of here. So now this side will be done, and then we'll move on to the next side. But in order for this to be complete on the bottom wall as well, because we have there's that stairwell door right here, I have to put, and I still have to make it, we're going to make a small wall. I'm going to make a small wall right here like this, and then we'll cut it this way, so it'll be a small jet out right here, and then it's going to match down below, and it'll actually cover with this doorway here, and I'll make a section that comes out underneath. So if I pull this out, see if we can get this out of here. So that goes like that. So now down here, I want to make a small, right around this doorway right here, I'm going to put a wall in here like this. It's going to come out this way, and then it's going to come this way, like this. And then I'll put a corresponding door that goes with this upper floor on this wall here, and then I'll put another wall type on the back side of that one. And that'll make the doorway in the hallway here, not that anybody's ever going to really see it, but if you do notice it, it'll correspond with a door on the lower level. And then I also need to, because we have this elevator in here, I'm going to need to make a block out right here with an elevator that goes in line with this one, so that everything kind of makes sense. Now I just wanted to go over one more quick thing before we end this video. You'll notice that I have white in here, and what I did was I put some caulk, and I just happened to have white. I would have used gray if I had any, and I went right up the seams on all of these seams in here and around the base to seal from light escaping through the cracks in the walls. And that's all it is, as well as it strengthens up the building itself. So that's the idea for this video. That's the next step. And so until next week, happy modeling, and we'll talk to you then. Bye.